So before I can get my LG50 replica playing, I've obviously got to make the bridge, and of course that's going to be based on the design of the Guyatone. It's very stylized actually, so I'm going to try to keep elements of its design obviously in my bridge. One of the things I want to change is the position of the thumb screws. These are unusually set quite far in, and they're difficult to turn, particularly once the pickups are there. So I'm going to set mine out a bit further, like you'd have on a traditional sort of tune-o-matic. This is all cast, all die cast out of some kind of alloy. Obviously I can't do that, so I will be really shaping the whole thing out of blocks of aluminium. So that's as much as I want to do to the bridge at this stage. Well, I thought I should share this historic moment with you. I have a set of strings on my guitar. So what I'm going to do now is get it set up. So it involves me adjusting the nuts so that the strings are at the correct height at this end. Similar thing at the at the bridge end, adjusting the height. Much easier at this end, of course, because you've got the adjustable bridge, and then sorting out the intonation. Not really a spectator sport, so I shall get on with that, and I'll see you on the other side. So I've done as much to the nut as I can possibly do. So I'm back now at the bridge. So these little pieces of string that you can see sticking up, I'm using those to work out where the string needs to break over the bridge in order to get the correct intonation. So now I know that, I can start putting the final kind of shape on that bridge. So I've been working on the saddle part of the bridge, and as you can see, we've got this kind of staggered formation for the intonation of the strings. It's almost there, but what I'm going to do now is go back up and do a little bit more work on the nut. And then once I've got that action 100% at the nut there, then I can come back here and sort of finesse the saddle. And that's how you go. It's this kind of iterative process. You're going backwards and forwards, sort of feeding back into the loop, as it were, until that action is perfect. So I'm at the stage now where I'm test fitting everything. So I'm just putting these fixing screws in, kind of tapping a thread if you like, and I've got this piece of scrap acrylic in case I slip, because of course one of the disadvantages of slotted head screws is that it's quite easy to slip and of course gouge the wood, and we can't afford to do that, can we? So all of the wiring is going to be attached to the pickguard to make up a sort of a wiring loom. So I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do that. I decided to use some vintage style humbuckers. These have got ceramic magnets, so they should give a vintage sound, whatever that may be. Also I'm using a couple of little switches which will enable me to switch from a humbucker to a single coil mode. So again, that will add hopefully to the kind of authenticity of the sound. So what will happen is the wire from the neck pickup goes to this switch, then the output goes to the three-way selector switch, and then I've got the bridge pickup with its wire coming up this way to its own switch, and again from there to the selector switch, and then the output from the selector switch goes through a little hole into the volume and tone controls. So I say I'm just trying to figure the best way to do all this before I snip any wires. So I'm just repeating the whole process I've been through on my Nava tone on the Guyatone, and there are so many little jobs which, when this is finished, no one will ever know have been done. I mean, for example, every single screw hole has been plugged and re-drilled. Things like the pickup mounting screws, they have to be cut to length, and the compression springs inside, they have to be modified so everything fits. So as I say, excuse me, there are 101 jobs that once the guitar is finished and it just looks like an old vintage guitar, all these little jobs will be forgotten about and no one will ever know. Right, so it's all getting very exciting now. Both the guitars have been set up, wired up, strung up, and they're playing, and I'm very pleased with the way that that's all turning out. So what is the next step then? Well, as far as my one is concerned, take it completely apart and start applying some sort of finish. And then hopefully the next time you see this one, it will all be back together again. All these pieces of scruffy old masking tape which is protecting it, they'll be taken off, and you'll see the final guitar in all of its glory. The Guyatone itself, well, again, this one I'm going to take apart, and there are various little touches that I need to do to the body and neck, do some screening inside, etc. But all of that I'll show you in the next video. So yeah, thanks again for watching. So it's all getting rather exciting. So until the next time, you take care, and yeah, we'll see you soon. Cheers.